30 already. Oh my God! No, I'm right over his body like a football thing. Bronco, baby, Bronco.
Greetings, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Welcome to On Point Fighting. My name is Kevin Thomas. My guest today, back for our third segment, is Master Eugene Floyd. Master Floyd, how you doing today?
Very good.
Okay. In research for this segment, I came across some really interesting information, which really blew me out of the water. So, Andre Tippett, a name that I'm sure everybody knows that follows football, and those of us in the martial arts always knew that he was a martial artist, but I never knew that he was a student in the Ninja Turtle system. Did you know him? Were you and him dojo brothers together?
Weightlifting the whole 9 yards mixed with a good karate man is very dangerous. Yeah, no doubt. Like even his light, like I said, moving around with him and everything. I told him, I said, look, you hit me with your forward call, I will shoot you. Best way to deal with him and everything. Yes, no, that's okay. That's why ninjas have bow and arrows, guns, everything else. Got to get some distance. That's all. Yeah.
And he competed a lot too in the New York, New Jersey area. I didn't know that. I mean, I actually probably saw him at some tournament. I just didn't know, that was him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very interesting. So he described the system as with a heavy emphasis on fighting.
Yes.
So you would agree with that?
Self-defense, actually.
Okay, right.
Especially the way Godfrey taught us was it really is for self-preservation. And I could tell you that I was the one that was able to explain to Grandmaster Godfrey that the world that we live in, we're going to need to have real self-defense as opposed to, sport. But that's the truth is that, especially in my neighborhood, you can just be minding your business, coming from work or coming from school, and it's, you put your hands up and give out what you got to give,
So your dojo brother, Andre Tippett, played 11 years for the New England Patriots and was actually inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes,
So that's it's an amazing story, amazing accomplishment. Back to the emphasis on fighting and self-defense thing. I used to visit a lot of karate schools and sit in on their classes. I was sitting in on a taekwondo instructor one day in the Bronx, and I overheard him talking to one of his students that had a tournament coming up in a couple of weeks. He was going to be in sparring division, sparring only, and his instructor told him, just practice your katas and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Which I thought was outrageous.
Outrageous.
What's your take on that?
Well, like I said, the thing that I really loved about Grandmaster Godfrey is that I was the one that always wanted to push to go in the competition and everything. Not for any other reason, is that most of my dojo brothers caused more damage to me than anything else.
Absolutely. I know that's true.
Yeah, those some big boys. But after a while, Grandmaster Godfrey understood that it would be wise for us to be able to practice and not have a problem with it, because every sport, but he really did not like the sport aspects. It's the saving the life in the street. It's learning to see trouble one way and go the other. All those things when I was young, it seemed like it wasn't the martial arts that I was interested in. But after being in it for quite some time, I realized that you have to have a warrior who will fight for what people.
Well, after having competed for so many years yourself, is there any value in competition? And if so, how would you describe that value, the value of competition?
Oh, yes. But that's what I was expressing to my Grandmaster, that if you don't have a person to spar against or whatever, you won't know whether it'll work or not. So application is important. In my, like I told you, I'm so happy I can say these things because I consider him to be a martial arts saint. The things that he taught seemingly looked impossible until he was able to, what's the proper word, grow up physically, mentally. That's the thing. A lot of schools, they don't have what's the word, a connection with higher power. Like if you say the word God in regular school, you might be in trouble these days. But I guarantee that that the instructor saved my life, like that song, you know.
DJ saved my life. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, with
That's something good for me because I love dancing and everything too, So both of them work. Yeah.
with all the tournaments that you've won, I got to ask you this: what'd you do with all those trophies? Where are those trophies today?
Gone, man. When we moved the dojo and everything, and I like, what the hell? Yeah. But you know what the beautiful thing is that, and this is all true. I was the student that actually got Grandmaster Godfrey to allow us to go in the water
Competition, right?
because, like I said, he's 100%. This is for the savior life in the West Streets. And the beautiful thing is that he kept an open mind. He wasn't a person that you give him a good reason. You know what I'm saying? And that came about, and I'm glad because I tell you, I got more bruises in the karate classes than when I went to tournaments and everything. Yeah, but I can tell you that I am really happy just to really say these things because he's truly a ninja. He doesn't like any light shined on him, and I'm glad that I can do that.
Absolutely, excellent.
But as for me, I knew one thing: the bigger they are, it's better to run, get out of their way. My punching and kicking technique expert, but the most important thing is what I use, which is called misdirection. When an individual does a drill over and over again, they actually get stronger, but they also get stuck sometimes. And so, just like with the punch, I step a little bit to the right, and while the person is talking back, I'm already kicking. And so that was the only thing that I noticed that Godfrey taught that wasn't really much of that type of thought, especially a more ancient time is the most powerful blow. And Bruce proved that, yes, a powerful blow is very good, but moving and getting out of the way and throwing with that much, hitting with that much power is why I consider Bruce Lee one of the greatest martial artists of our time. Yes, because he was able to mix those two in such a way. And it's so funny. I tell you, I love dancing, and I found out that he was he was, I think, the cha-cha champion, world champion in that as well. So, did you know that?
The Bruce was, yes.
Yes, Bruce Bruce loved to dance, and dancing also is good, just like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, expert in the fisticuffs, punching, and hitting people. But then he started to do his shuffling and moving, and it was many fights that he didn't even get a bruise. And so that's the thing is that being able to be like I would consider him to be like a genius as well. I mean, whatever his coaches did put into it and everything else, but those movements and everything you take that person off of balance. And I mean, not before you hit him, it's just the moves. So what we learned to be is not to be repetitious, to go do something over and over again, expect for it to be, enough. He always would come in, and after we would get a certain technique down pat, he'll let us learn another. And sometimes he wouldn't let us do anything else but that particular thing because he could see in us our strength and our weaknesses, not just as martial artists, but also as people. And yeah, so,
Yeah, I tell you, one of the things I appreciate about Ali's footwork is he actually used his footwork to set up his offense. And if you look at boxers today, that is for the most part it's missing. You have to go back to Evander Holyfield. He did the same thing where he would go in, out, in, right? But I mean, today these guys, their idea of footwork is just running, just pure
yeah.
defense, just running, and then they wonder why they didn't get the decision at the end of the fight.
So like, if they can add a who got the most bang bangs to the body or the head, yeah. But
Right.
I was interested in boxing and everything, but I said, you know what, Gene, you'll be lucky if you in there with all your teeth and everything. And I tell you the funniest thing is that I actually lost my two front teeth uh, in Puerto Rico years and years ago and everything. So most people didn't even know I had, forces and everything. And one of the Ninja Turtle cartoon, now the one that represents me, has no teeth in the middle. So I'm gonna have to see Kevin Thompson. I think it is. I think he's trying to communicate with me because very, very few people knew that I have lost my two front teeth, and it wasn't Christmas. So
The
yeah.
so the movies then, tell us about that, how they basically stole the name.
Well, I
And
tell you, it's so what's the word? It's such a sad thing. One is that the sad thing is that Grandmaster Godfrey basically taught us all for what free. Uh, uh, and I say it like this: I don't have any ill will to Kevin Eastman, whatever he wants to call himself, because I'm I'm an artist too. I went to Arts High and Arts High is art school for North in high school, and I learned various dances. I learned a little bit of acting and everything. All that stuff is really good for ninjas because sometimes the ninja might have to act like he's something else and everything. But the funniest thing is that uh, wow, my gym teacher at that particular time was also a martial arts instructor. I don't know if I want to mention his name or whatever, because some people like to keep, their martial arts identity very well, one on one. And but I tell you, it did help me in everything. The dance movements, just like Bruce Lee and everything, the so-called dancing around is very important because it's the moving target is the hardest thing to hit.
so this guy that you're talking about, Eastman, are you saying that he was a student in the school and that
Yeah,
he's the one that went and produced the movies?
yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, don't worry. Like I told you, I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be rich because the main thing is I tell you these stories. Nobody will ever believe half of what I've been exposed to. But Grandmaster Godfrey treated us all like sons and daughters. He did not want to have them put in jail or whatever. And so what he did was he said that I'm going to give him time. And this is before the course passed away. This was my duty to not, you know,
Take action.
detach. And just like with this, I I really listen and understand my grandmaster. But I am now the Grandmaster of the Ninja Turtle system, and I'm going to make sure that he does right by Grandmaster Doctor and his wife. I mean, I spent a long time trying not to be angry because teenagers doing what things that just was exciting and everything. I understood that part, but I could not understand the fact that okay, if you want to do something secret or whatever, that's cool. But when Grandmaster was uh, passing away from cancer and everything, it would have been nice if he probably would have sent something to help. And thus, uh, um, I do care about money, but I don't. What's the word? Think that Grandmaster Godfrey is and was like a martial arts saint. I wouldn't do it that way, but again, I told you my Grandmaster was and will always be incredible. And I'm glad that we have this on right now. Is that we're ready to get the top lawyers and make sure that he does right for our Grandmaster. Uh, I am a person that gets into anger. Growing up in the streets of Newark, I probably would have been on the other side of the jail and everything instead of uh, being a police officer and everything else. Uh, I, I I had a chance to go to be a fireman and also well I would say it like this. I didn't really want to be a police officer. I'd rather do it in jail or something like that. Not for any other reason is that when people have guns, uh, sometimes they get what's the proper word? So worried about their own life that there could be other ways that you can overpower something. You say even a person with a gun, uh, it is what possible. I do not believe it myself. I'm strictly North tough. In when I first was introduced to Godfrey, I looked at him. He was matter of fact, at that particular time, me and him could see eye to eye, and he wasn't very muscular, but I mean, very powerful. I love
Another guy that reminds me of is Master Ronald Duncan. I remember when I was in high school and me and my friends, we went to watch one of his demos,
it.
which was, amazing. But one of my friends said, if he didn't know all that martial arts, I could beat him, because he's small also and whatever. So,
Oh, that's
um,
right.
but it's good that you're putting Master Godfrey's name out there because his name definitely is not as well known. When I think of Ninja Turtle system, I think of Reginald Good, Jesse Harris,
Yes,
yourself, and a name that you haven't heard you talk about yet, Edward Bowes.
yes,
So
yes.
so so how did he come into the system? Because when you first started, it was just Master Godfrey and the ninjutsu. So is
Oh,
he did he come later? Did Edward Bowes come later, or how did that come about?
like I said, wow, shoot, I started with Grandmaster Godfrey very, very young. Me and Reginald Good, we lived on the same block, and so actually, my first karate or martial arts was with Reginald Good. He had learned judo, a little bit of it. He didn't have a what belt or anything. We'd be in the backyard, and after him throwing me about 10 times, I stopped. I quit. He said, "This is not it's not hard." I said, "Yes, it is. You there go 6 feet tall, right? And you throw me to the ground. We did have a little dirt to fall into, but it wasn't no mats or anything." I said, we got to think of it." And I told him just like this. I said, "We have to think about maybe like looking at some other martial arts because getting thrown to the ground a lot wasn't good." And he told me yeah, there's a guy that's teaching at the church. And I said, you doing karate in the church? That's not right. Because I mean, I grew up, my mom, she was, still is a saint and everything, believed in a higher power. It's important because I can tell you that my thought process, it wasn't the same when I was, a teenager. But I can tell you this, is that blessing on top of blessing, Grandmaster Godfrey, like I told you, I went to Charles, and he was awesome. Charles Wilson, and he was very much strict. I didn't have no problem with that or whatever. And my mom said, "No, you can't go back to that school."
After you got injured, right?
Yes, and it was all my fault. I'm not gonna lie. He put me against a green belt and everything. And I went at him like, I knew everything I was doing was correct, and I ended up what was knee or something, right? It wasn't really out of the ligaments around it or whatever. And then,
Yeah, you told us that story in the last segment, but get to the part of the entrance of Edward Bowes, because
okay.
because he's an important figure, because I used to see him a lot at the tournaments. But the thing is, when the system split, I mean, he took some good guys with him. Reginald Good and Jesse Harris went on that side with Turtle System.
Well, no, the bottom line, I tell you exactly what happened. Bowes was more aware of what was happening with the Ninja Turtle franchise.
The movies.
Yes. And
Okay.
so the reality was that he got everybody together and said that he would no longer be part of the Ninja Turtle school. And the thing that I was really angry about is that those separated us all. And then, but again, Godfrey, like a wise person, instead of it being a riot, meaning in between all of us, Godfrey said, "Oh, all those who want to train with him can train with him. All those who want to," he said, like I told you, he's a martial arts saint. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, this is bull jump. There's no way that Godfrey would sign off his Ninja Turtles. The reality is that Kevin Eastman was one of the students in our school.
But you don't recognize Edward Bowes as one of your instructors then?
Yes, yes. Matter of fact, the main thing is that yes, I learned a lot of good things from him. I think that what was the word I could say? I don't greed or whatever was the only thing I could think of. Grandmaster Godfrey would give you his coat off his back to anybody and everybody. He did not treat us like students. He treated us like we was his children. No joke.
When the system split, though, were you surprised that some of the top black belts chose to go the route of the Turtles?
Yes, because no, I wasn't surprised. The reality is that it's just like with this. There were things that Godfrey said, "No, I want you to get into this." He said, even if you want to be professionals and everything else, that's okay, but that's not what I teach. You understand what I'm saying? And even to the point where full contact is, of course, what teenagers want to do. We see the Bruce Lee stuff and everything else, and so you think that's real martial arts. It's not. Godfrey saved my life because I listened to him on so many occasions. Okay. I would say it like this. I don't have any anger against those who actually sold out Grandmaster Godfrey. And all that stuff was, what's the word? it was deception. He actually worked this way to try to make sure that he would be able to get money from the program. And I'm like, what kind of guy? Then again, like I told you, I mean, I would say it like this. I tried to not to be angry, but I am angry. I'm not. I don't like to speak about it because such a good person treated in such a way. He would make sure that not only that he would train you, he would make sure that you would not get hurt. That's another thing. You got some people who would love to have a bunch of persons, fighting and everything else, but he expressed it very simply that if you're a true warrior, the highest thing that a warrior wants is to have. And I didn't like that either. As I told you, the psychology of it was, North Star was get in there, take them out. No.
But why weren't you surprised with some of the top black belts? This is almost like the biblical story where Satan took 1/3 of the angels with him when he left.
You know what my middle name is? My middle name is David.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and a lot of these things that David had to go through, Eugene David Floyd has went through.
Right, fighting giants, absolutely.
There you go. So the funny thing is that, and I look at all the funny things, and I tell you that one of my now I can tell you the whole world is that Grandmaster Godfrey wanted me and Reginald to what's the popular to find out whether or not he's worthy. You know what I'm saying? And I know Godfrey shouldn't have asked me because guess what? I mean, Godfrey had always told me that he would want me to be the successor. I like, nope, I'm not gonna ever be the mistake. I said, why? I said, because you're not gonna die. I'm not gonna what? That's the thing is that no, I don't want to ever be I want you to be here and continue to teach me. But the blessings over blessings, he taught me so many great things that it just like it is. I could have jumped on, turned down the Ninja Turtle franchise and everything. Their position is very, very weak. Master Bo sold something that he did not want own. Understand what I'm saying? And Kevin Eastman, who was a student in our school. And so this new year coming and everything else, I'm going to make sure that financially that Grandmaster Godfrey's wife is taken care of, things like that. Would I want them to stop doing the Ninja Turtles and shut it down? No, I don't think so. I think that there is my Grandmaster kept it all real, and still he is known. Maybe it's not in the same thought process, but he could accept that more than anything else. And
okay, I got you. I mentioned in the first episode that I know you as a competitor, an instructor, a coach, and a businessman with the karate school and the after-school program. Yeah. I don't really know much about you as a family man, so I want to ask you: did you have children, and did they get into martial arts?
Ooh, I can tell you, my daughter. I only have one daughter. Of course, every man secretly wants to have a son, but I will tell you, my daughter. She's vicious her martial arts. But of course, I don't really get angry. I try to make sure that I stay up calm in my mind. A person with martial arts skills, and this is what I was saying about connection with the Shaolin Temple. If you do not have a true grounding, some type of spirituality. It's easier for you to do wrong and hurt people. Some people don't believe in a higher, but a higher person that we cannot see. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean he's not there. Even with ninja and everything, the ninja training, he actually taught us how to walk on rice paper for real and things like that. Yes, and I tell you, all these things really work to help you to be a better fighter. And but like Dr. always
on the fatherhood thing, so your father and a sensei. So was in the case of your daughter, was learning martial arts, did you make that mandatory that she had to train? Or did you leave it up to her choice?
No. I tell you why, because guess what? It saved my life. In an instance, if you're learning something that's going to save your life, I'm not going to give you a chance to say no, because I would be setting you up, because I guarantee that almost everybody in the United States has had a martial arts day where they had to defend themselves or unavoidable. It's unavoidable. I mean, we could look at the statistics. I think it's 35,000 people murdered in the United States. Yes. And I like, yeah, yes, it's good. We just have these civilized people, And even with this pandemic and everything else, I can say this, that I think that the virus not only attacks us physically, but also spiritually. Like, what does that mean? It means that there's what I would say, lingering evil. Here it is, nature. There is nothing in nature that doesn't have a season. You got the cold season, you got all these various seasons. If it doesn't have a season, it is probably a mechanized weapon. You see, being a ninja, even stuff like that, have to look towards, because self-defense might be like gigantic, horrible thing, but knowledge is very important. And I don't hate those for what he did. I hate that he could have anonymously sent Grandmaster Doctor, and he was cancer. And again, I can tell you that that man treated us all like that. 17
I visited your school once back in, well, not once, several times, but one time I visited was back in the probably late 90s, I think.
Mhm.
And when I walked in, it was afternoon and the after school program was in full effect. And you would actually go around to these different schools and pick the children up, and bring them back to your spot
Yes.
and supervise them as they were doing homework and things like that.
Yeah.
And you spoke to me about that basically, from a business point of view, but also from a sociological standpoint, making a contribution to the community. What are some of your memories of that after school program?
Oh, just the dancing. I went to Arts High. I learned. Well, I say it like this. I learned how to be a dancer, and I also learned that the movement, it was real good with martial arts. Being able to move and flow and move in various ways that are simple. And Godfrey, like I told you, I mean, he didn't, well, before he passed, the only thing that I needed was his book, and it was this various techniques, uh, kung fu, karate, weapons, the whole 9 yards. I mean, he used to do just incredible things. And so I will never, ever want to quit teaching, even if it's just one right now, my grandson and everything. But no, I have to continue his great legacy. And that's the beautiful thing is that his training is tough, but it's hard. Oh my goodness. Like, I say it like this. I was blessed. I have a whole lot of people who have really invested their time in me. So I would never ever stop teaching, even if I just teach one. But that man was and will always be one of the greatest martial artists I ever was.
What does it take to achieve black belt excellence in the ninja system?
The Ninja Turtle system worked. Grandmaster Godfrey, he really was. I mean, like Bruce Lee. The bottom line is that most of these things came from their heart and their mind. You know, now we have what we call martial arts fights that you can use elbows, knees, the whole 9 yards. So, that's a hard job. Okay, but I can tell you that the Grandmaster Godfrey, he taught us how to overcome what pain. Yes. Did you have to walk on the bed of nails, Eugene Floyd? Yes. Okay. Yes. But there is what? An exercise that you do before that, which is you walk through the streets with no daggone shoes on. And so as you did that, the calluses what? Go and take some of the what impact. So he wouldn't just tell you to go and break stuff. You have to work on the punches and everything else and Maharari. And I tell you, especially for I mean my when I was a kid, I think I was like maybe 120 pounds. And I'm telling you, the techniques that he gave me, I was able to drop giants. I that you was good. Actually, it's so funny is that I wouldn't even been a student with Grandmaster Godfrey because I went in and trained under Charles Wilson, and Charles Wilson is an awesome karate instructor, and it was just like this. Again, I think I was no more than I wasn't even 13. I think 13, and the things that I learned from Godfrey and everything. This is how I try to tell a person how fortunate. So I went to Charles School, and me, it was all on me. I watched too many kung fu movies and everything, so I go out there and I like, oh, this is one of your best students. For real, I did. It's so funny, but it's the truth. I like that's one of your. I want to go against him. Charles said, no, look, you should take it one step at a time. No, let me show you. I go out there and this is funny but it's not funny anyway. So I went at him and everything, shot a roundhouse kick, and it was beautiful. He blocked it with his elbow, right? And I had a daggone bruise this big on my ankle. And when I got back home, my mom said, "No, you can't do. No, you can't do no more martial arts." And I'm telling you, I was like, "Mom, it was just an accident. He didn't mean it, and he really didn't. I mean, it was me, really. It was probably more me in the hit, and he just put that elbow right there." And so I said, "No more karate. Nope. Only thing I want you to do now is just go to church." Right? And I said, "Mom, I have other things to do. Be like, nope, you can't go. So couldn't go there. Reg would come to the backyard and show me a few things and everything. He says, "Is your mother gonna let you back in?" I said, "No." You're supposed to be this great karate guy. How are you able to what? Grow? My mom knew mob riding, which was she hit you with a daggone garbage can or whatever. So I know I never what. I never ever didn't listen to what my mother said. I like she would not play. So time goes by. I'm in the backyard, and you come back in the backyard and cookies and stuff. And the judo, I did like, especially working with Reg, because Reg is 6'2", and you got a long way down the ground. So I said, Reg, I can't do this no more. He said, why? I said, look, I got bruises here, bruises there, and I don't think that this judo thing is going to work. Said, well, no worry, we can come to get some mats or whatever. I said, no, because Reg wasn't trying to hurt you, but from that height and everything else, you would have to be perfect at your
break fall.
Yeah, no, I knew how to stand up and fight, but no. So Reg would go to school and I'd be all upset. Yo, man, I don't want to do that karate stuff no more. No, we're gonna go to church. Okay. Go to church, man. My mom, I don't have to go to church. My mom is always, she's praying and have me praying and everything else. I said, I really need to continue my martial arts. He said, okay, we'll find a way. So he comes to my backyard and he says, look, you won't believe this, but they're going to have a karate instructor at the church that we in. And I was like, I'm not interested. He said, why? I said, karate, Jesus mixed together and everything. No, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to even ki in the church, because I said, I got it. I got ready to take me. That's where I met Grandmaster Frederick Graham Godfrey Taylor in the church. And I looked over at him and I said, I'm not going to let this guy teach me. Just be quiet. Just listen. Okay, I'm going, man. Because Godfrey wasn't too much bigger than me. We almost could look eye to eye. And he was like very muscular, but I can look eye to eye to him. I can take him out in 3 blows. I got that ego and everything, I don't know. Something about this guy is pretty good. So I'm like, okay. So when I left the school, Reggie and the other guys who left from Charles to hang with me. I'm like what's the proper word? I'm the so-called tough guy and everything. Reg is like real calm. He's like, Reg, I've never heard of Reg say a bad word. And we go to the church. I'm just really just telling you the truth. At that age, I had all types of jokes and everything. And I said, okay, we're gonna have variety in the church. I know my mom's not gonna like that. Okay. But she said, okay. Reg says it's gonna be good. My mom, she loved Reg. We were brothers. I had a share of 2 moms and everything. And God in there. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I was angry, I was mad, but I still wanted to continue doing karate. So after comes out. He's got on hey, what do you call the cowboy with
those flaps hanging down?
Yeah, the flaps hanging down and everything. He had a Black Panther hat on. And I looked over at Reg. I said, I don't know. My mom's gonna beat me, but I got to go back to Charles. Charles, Charles really, really serious karate. And Reg, I'm out of here. Like, you leave the church? I said, no, I'm not gonna leave the church. How can they work? do any of this. They said, come on, give him a try. I got a good feeling about this guy. So, sat in there, he said, okay, we sat and meditated and everything, which about the same, thing that was going on in Charles and everything. And so I said, Reg, this guy, he looked like he looked like he's a very strong, karate instructor. I said, maybe I could ask my mom to go back to Charles. No, it says no. I don't work all this time to make sure we can do this because me and him we're buddies for life, So, doctor comes in, says, okay, we're gonna learn ninjutsu, and I looked at Reg and I'm like, my eyes rolled my head because this has got to be fake. There's no ninjas nowhere but in the movies. You know what I'm saying? And he says,
Okay, we're back live. I was asking you about black belt excellence, though. Like, how many years did it take you to reach black belt versus how many years it took your students to reach black belt once you started teaching?
well, like I told you, with Godfrey and everything, long time. I mean, each belt, he would at least have a year for, right? All the way up to a green and purple. And like I said, even when we would go to tournaments, everything, we really didn't even have no ranks. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have no rank. The techniques that he showed us worked. And, I'm glad that Reggie convinced me to do the right thing. We can't judge a book by its cover.
Right. And when you started teaching, how long typically average? How many years would it take your students to reach black belt?
Oh, that's why I don't have a whole lot of them. Is that following that same regiment to 6 months to a year, or
And did the ranking system, did it go to, white, yellow, green, purple, brown, black?
Mhm, that's right.
Okay, that's how. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with some names, and you just give me we'll do like a stream of consciousness thing. You tell me what comes to your mind about each student, and you can give me their full name because some of them I only know like nicknames or whatever. Harass.
Oh my goodness, that's Red. That's the red guy. I'm telling you, watch this. The beautiful thing about him is that he's like a little demon. He's like he'll look and say, "We're going soft," and I like, yeah, I know what your soft is, my brother. But you need two warriors to become a warrior and everything. Oh yes, Reggie and I tell him, I said, okay, guys, we got to do it right. You know that we want nobody to get hurt again. And they start laughing because we know somebody's going to get abused. If it ain't me giving one, you're going to get one. But, yes, that guy is something else. I can tell you that Quan Ali, his Grandmaster Godfrey, and his grandmaster all work together.
Could you put Harass's full name out there?
Huh?
What's Harass's full name?
Oh no, if you use his last name, he'll come after you.
Okay. All right, that's what I thought. I thought he might want the recognition. My recollection of Harass, though, when I think of him, I think of a hard puncher. His punch was no joke. He's like Kevin Thompson. I remember Pedro was Xavier. People that don't know Pedro Xavier, Boston Taekwondo. He was talking to me once about what it's like fighting Kevin, and he said, "Yo, don't let him punch you. Don't get hit with one of his punches."
I'm telling you that I smell colors when you hit me. We ain't through yet. We're through, my brother.
Okay, Ali.
Oh yes. Well, like I told you, here it is. Between all of those, we have I would call it code. Have to have one because, just like I said, the training itself is off the hook. Keep it in the same thing because just like with Godfrey. Godfrey knew one important thing. If you prepare for where you live and what you have to do, you're going to be all right in the city of New York.
But what comes to mind when you think of Ali?
Oh, bruises.
What's that?
Bruises.
Oh,
yes.
bruises?
I ain't leaving without a bruise somewhere, you know. And even to the point where just like, you know, mind over matter and everything, then you go back home, you're like, what the hell is this?
I mean, I admire him because he was a real slick technician, but his basics were very strong. You know, his basics were very strong, and the way he combined it, you know, he was a real smooth operator. Okay, Mr. Badfoot, Rock.
Oh my goodness, that's my nephew more or less. He's awesome, man. I tell you about Rock is that Rock is, like I said, almost everybody else is more vocal. Rock is always what just, you know,
Yeah, very quiet, absolutely.
All the stuff like that. He keep up with the ninja stuff. Yes, he's my
Okay, this is a name that this one might throw you off a little bit. Deshaun Bay.
Yes. I gotta tell you something. Here it is. We have to have all types of what people in our school. I can tell you with what I learned from Godfrey is this. One is never have an idol in your, you become your own what? Hero.
Idol.
And I, even to the point where some of the times it gets a little rough, and I tell them, look, guys, stay calm. We're practicing martial arts. We're not in the full fighting and everything. And it came out good. I tell you what, harassed. He hit me one time, and I told him, I said, you know what? I never say that I'm going to get a gun, but next time this happens, I'm going to use my gun. But I tell you, they love me and I love them. It's, really, it's a beautiful legacy for Grandmaster Godfrey. He never wanted any one of us to be like cookie cutters. He actually personally saw.
But I got to bring it back to Didi, Deshaun Bay. You haven't told me anything.
Yeah, she did. She's down south now. Yeah, but she tell you, like I told you, Grandmaster Godfrey.
Wait, we got to say more than Didi about that. Awesome female fighter, one of the top female fighters in the country. Probably you got to put her somewhere in the top 5 all time.
Most definitely, but like I told you, here it is. I can tell you something, and it's the truth.
And she made black belt under you?
Most definitely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I know she was training with Fan for a while. I didn't know like the relationship or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Even Fan, we, like I told you, Godfrey allowed anybody be part of our school. Here's the most beautiful thing I try to tell people: like, what was the word ninja comes in? Ninja is very what Godfrey was taught. It wasn't boxing, kickboxing, or whatever. It was a fusion of many martial arts techniques as you could have. And another
do you know though if Didi is she still involved in martial arts? I know you said she's down south, but do you know if she's still involved in martial arts at all?
No, I don't know. I haven't heard from her.
Okay. Raven.
That's my karate son. Yes. Raven is, well, he started with me when I think he was, I don't think he was 5 years old.
Wow. Well, the word out on the street is that he was actually your first student.
No.
Okay.
He's the first student that got a whole lot of recognition.
Okay.
He like I told you, he after school, come right in class and everything, does his homework. That's what we do. That's what we really do. What masters are supposed to be. It's very similar, like we see what's going on in the Shaolin Temple and everything else. These people were really spiritually wired, in that some of these things really are superhero things, but there's what's the It's a fusion of martial arts. It's not just like people say, Ninja University. It's a university of martial arts where we will interrelate and learn as much martial arts as we could. And that's the thing. Not knowing something or knowing about something, it can be dangerous, more dangerous. Yes.
Okay, I got another name for you. And this guy, he helped put Ninja University on the map.
Mhm.
And I'm talking about none other than Uncle Buck.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy that you can say that because I'm telling you, Uncle, he might talk a whole lot of junk. But guess what? Every little thing that he did put into it, I'm telling you where I can tell you I am so proud of him. Uncle Buck is my brother-in-law and everything. Yeah, he's fun.
Oh, he's actually your brother-in-law?
Yes.
Okay. Now with him, what did he actually train in martial arts though? Because I don't know if he did or not, or whatever.
Like I told you, he believed in kung fu more than anything else. Oh, man, I tell you, but no, he no joke in everything. I mean,
So what's his relationship to Rock and Ninja?
like I said, they're all there in the thing. They're all cousins and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't live together though, or whatever. He wasn't like their father or whatever. Okay. Last name, Ninja Fitzpatrick.
Wow. I say it like this. One thing I could tell you is that young man has been able to survive under incredible things. I actually told him this is all true. I told him, I begged him, I said, bro, don't become a professional boxer. So why? I said, because guess what? You're a good-hearted person, and I guarantee that a good person wouldn't. You'll kill him. I'm telling you, it's his weight. And I mean, even the power he had, even when he was a young person, a teenager. He entered in. I let him enter in black belt ring. I think he was no more than what, 16, maybe less than that.
Yeah, he was actually 14.
Yes.
And it's men's black belt we're talking about.
Nobody believed that it was, but it would be good that he is because fighting just regular kids, he didn't hurt somebody's kid. That's not our work.
Right.
They'd be like, what the hell? I'm telling you, he hit me so hard one day I could see colors. I was like, okay, there it is. No more sparring with you. You'll find somebody else because that ringing in my head told me something. But I can tell you, I'm so proud of them is because I'm telling you, anybody know how new it was in the early 70s and 80s and everything else, and for young people not to have what's the proper word outlet for the negative energy, and it's very important. Like I told you, I would always say that DJ saved my life. There's a song that DJ saved my life and everything. And because a lot of times I would just go and dance at a party and go back home and feel safe. That's the thing. And so two things that I really love. One is the martial arts, and the other one is dancing. Most people don't even know that I actually am a very, very good dancer, and that's helped. I learned that Bruce Lee used many of his moves to actually throw his opponent off or dancing, you know? And
All right, would you consider yourself to be an extremist?
No.
No. Well, your students consider you to be an extremist. They said it would be not unusual to have a class start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and not end till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So if that's not extreme, I don't know what is.
I tell you like this. Here it is. Extreme is being under Grandmaster Frederick Baron Godfrey Taylor. Hello, walking on bed of nails. Why a lot of people that never made the black belt? Okay, is that I went through it because I was crazy. But I can tell you that it wasn't as hard as I thought it was. Maybe it's because I only weighed like maybe like 140 pounds at the most. So It's not going to be penetrating very deep, but no, you had to be able to walk that walk, which teaches us how to have mind over what over anything. That it is possible. Just first, make sure that you do another thing that Dr. taught us is we had to run through the streets with no shoes on. Like when we jogging. And okay, I don't mind jogging, but could we wear some sneakers? It's because then you kept doing it, then you build a callus.
Calluses, yep, toughen up your feet.
And shit, but it worked. It worked. And so
Okay. We cannot end this without touching on that classic battle that happened so many years ago. I remember in the magazine, we called it the territorial imperative because both of you from the Newark area, and that is you versus Kevin Thompson. Take it away, your recollections of that fight. Start with your preparation for that match. How did you prepare for that?
The beautiful thing is that me and Shaquille, we only had like two matches before and everything even out. So this was going to be the once and forever in the records today. And I can tell you that most people will not believe that me and Shaquille were very, very close to each other. Yes. I love his swagger too. You know what I'm saying? It's just the like we say little things like when karate begins, the friendship is over. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. Blessings on top of blessings to even meet a young person like that. Actually, he used to live only 1 block away from me, and I can tell you this, just to be around someone. He was the real deal.
Absolutely.
He was 100% a true martial artist. And even when we see me this is what he said. When karate begins, friendship ends. And he's right, self-preservation and everything. And like I told you, I was blessed to just really be in that mix and learn so much from these incredible people. Prima Allah, Goshi Shan, all of these interrelations were going to make you either one thing is going to make you run away or you're going to get stronger.
Yeah, that area, man, was a hotbed. It's just amazing, an amazing hotbed of martial arts. It's amazing. But your epic match with Kevin Thompson. So how did you prepare for that match? How did you prepare yourself?
Exactly what Grandmaster Godfrey used to do. Of course, toughen up your body to take the blow. Because you watch this knowing Shaquille, hand power, speed, angle, and the same thing. A lot of people underestimates his draw, but his arms are very long, for real. And so I learned that sometimes it's better to be closer than be far away, because even though he's small, if you look at his arms is almost as long as his legs and everything. So
How did you balance that training though? Because you're teaching at the same time. So would you work out with the students, like spar with them and things like that as part of the training, or did you do yourself separately, like in the more early morning or something? Your ring entrance, and actually before you even entered the ring, you were sitting in the audience disguised. And you saw me, but I didn't see you and whatever. And then you popped out. Take us through that. Take us through that. How'd you pull that off?
Actually, like I told you, there's so many things that God forbid what teach and everything, and even to the point how to make weapons, the whole 9 yards. But this is a very easy thing. All you had to do is you could get a firecracker and everything, cut it open, and put it on a small container or whatever, depends. Especially if you deal with people, you don't want something to go kaboom and everything. You just want, but even all that is how you work. Some of these things are so simple.
Okay, so for those who don't know, the epic battle, Kevin Thompson ended up actually winning the contest, and I think it was 10 rounds. Was it 10 rounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it wasn't no usual like 2 or 3 round thing. It was like a 10 round thing. So have you looked at that fight on tape in the immediate aftermath, like that week, that day, whatever?
There was a lot of crazy stuff going on. The reality is that the fix was in. Somebody was trying to make sure that it was all about trying to get some money. But here it is. The bottom line is that when me and Shaquille get in there, exactly as it. When karate begins, friendship ends. We're there to fight with integrity, of course. But like I told you, had some people on the underhanded was already betting a whole lot of money. Somebody got paid real bad.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, so I like that. That's why I don't do any more stuff like that, because it's not what's the popular. You got some people who are not worthy of such things. They well, of course, money is everything to everybody else. So it was fixed, but it was a great fight. I enjoyed it. My interest was like a ninja technique. It was so beautiful. but I can tell you that me and Shaquille were never at ease. You know, we never enemies. We always had respect for each other.
I mentioned this in this last episode, but I want to bring it up again so you can expand on it, because I think it's important. You said that beyond technique, there's only desire.
Yeah.
This is something that you told me once face to face years ago. Could you expound on that? Expound on it?
Well, here it is. I tell you this is that when 140, 150 pounds, and to be able to take a knocker, 200-pound man and hit the ground, you better know your technique. You better understand that the science of the weight, and so being able to keep a person at bay. A lot of times we now have people who emulate some of the things that Bruce Lee did. Bruce Lee will never ever be. He will always be known as one of the greatest martial artists of all time, because he went that extra step.
And what has martial arts meant to you in your life? What has martial arts meant in your life?
It saved my life. I know. I'm telling you, I saved my life, and since it saved my life, I don't know if I.
Cool. Okay, Master Floyd, I appreciate it. I can't believe how time flies when we're talking. It's almost been an hour and a half already. Wow, it's crazy.
None of these things would have been brought to the light if it wasn't for you.
Thank you. And I feel like we made a important contribution getting a lot of this history out.
Thank you, my brother, and again, blessings on top.
Thank you. Same to you.